guys, how are you? It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is so great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life here this evening. Thank you so much for deciding to pop on in. We have an outstanding show for you. But in case you're wondering, our granular topic for tonight, we'll get to in a minute. The master topic is the power of connection. And the granular topic is a really good one tonight, and that is physical connection. Why touch still matters in a digital world. Series 4, Show 31, episode number 4. Hey guys, if you're new to the Inspirations for Your Life world, well, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you will come back. And if you're coming back, well, a big welcome to you as well. Thank you so much for coming back and sharing all the great love here. Hey, if you're thirsty, feel free to go get yourself something. Like I have my RO water here. I've also got a little bit left in my water tumbler here. It's kind of like a flavored seltzer. It's really good, actually. This one has like a has almost like a berry taste to it, but it's very light and it's really really good. So I do want to let you know, if you have not checked out believemeachieve.com, well, be sure to check it out after the show, okay? Definitely do that. And let's kick this show off because I want to get this on the road. All right, everyone, feel free to go get something from the kitchen and come on back, all right? All right. So in an age dominated by screens, swipes, digital notifications, and something incredibly human is quietly, well, slipping through our fingers. What is that? Touch. While technology continues to evolve, how we choose to communicate is important. It will never replace, well, the irreplaceable physical connection that people have. In this episode of Inspirations for Your Life, John C. Morley and myself, I invite you to rediscover the magic and science behind touch. I'm a serial entrepreneur, video producer, graduate student, marketing specialist, member of the press, engineer, and much more. From its effects on your brain chemistry to its ability to mend emotional wounds, physical contact is more than just, well, comforting. It's essential for life. So whether you're a leader, a friend, a partner, or a parent, this episode is earmarked just for you. So human touch isn't outdated. It's more relevant than ever, especially with us evolving with technology. So let's dive in, everyone. Are you ready? I know I am. Okay. That ale is really good. So number one, touch builds trust instantly. Let me say that again. Touch builds trust instantly. And you might be saying, John, like, how is it even possible? It is. I kid you not. It is very, very possible. And it's almost kind of magical, the way it actually happens. So that's important. The moment someone offers a handshake, a hug, or a reassuring maybe pat on the back, something just shifts in their mental psychology. We immediately feel more connected, less guarded. And that's because touch has a subconscious ability to create, well, safety and connection in mere seconds. In leadership, friendships, or even brief interactions, physical touch can serve as a silent handshake of sincerity. And in today's disconnected world, which is happening with technology, unfortunately, even a small gesture like a hand on the shoulder can spark enormous trust. Number two, it releases oxytocin. We've talked about this before, the bonding hormone. Physical touch activates the brain's release of oxytocin, often called the cuddle hormone. This natural chemical fosters feelings of closeness, security, and bonding, whether it's a hug from a loved one or holding hands during a tough moment. Oxytocin deepens our emotional experiences and increases our capacity for connection. It's nature's way of saying, hey, you belong. Number three, physical contact reduces cortisol and stress. Ever feel instantly calmer after a hug? That's not a coincidence. Studies have shown us that physical touch can significantly lower cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. The calming embrace or simple touch can downregulate our fight or flight mechanism. We all know what that is. It's like what keeps us alive and gives us clarity and composure in these anxious moments. In short, a touch can be your body's reset button. Number 4, touch deepens emotional intimacy. Now, I don't just mean between friends, I mean in relationships as well, and vice versa, because most people have equated touch to just be, well, something of the adult nature, but touch can also bring great things into bonding for lots of people and really strengthen a relationship. So, touch isn't just about proximity, it's about presence. A gentle brush of the arm, a warm embrace, or sitting close communicates emotional availability and care. See, couples, close friends, and family members all thrive on this unspoken intimacy. In relationships, touch acts as the glue that holds vulnerability, affection, and trust, well, all together. Number 5, guys, it boosts the mood and combats loneliness. When we go too long without physical contact, our mood can, well, dip into darker places. Touch has the power to lift our spirits by making us feel seen, valued, and included. In nursing homes, hospitals, and even busy workplaces, a single kind touch can change the emotional weather of someone's day. It tells the brain, you're not alone. Number 6, touch enhances empathy and understanding. Words can be misunderstood, but touch speaks volumes of a universal language. A comforting touch during a grief moment or a celebratory high five in success immediately conveys shared emotion. It aligns two nervous systems and it helps the receiver feel well felt. Kind of like the way Wi-Fi gets turned on and within seconds they handshake basically without any wires, almost magically through the air. And that's the same way touch, but it doesn't have to be touch of the body. It can just be presence. And so when we think about this, touch becomes a bridge to true empathy. Number 7, it communicates comfort when words, well, fall short or what I like to say, fall apart. There are moments, guys, in life when words just, well, aren't enough. Whether someone is grieving, overwhelmed, or emotionally numb, a sincere touch can say what language cannot. It creates presence, grounding, and care without needing to explain. Sometimes just being there physically is the greatest form of support. I know I often will say when I don't have the exact words to say, I'll say, whoever the person is. Um, I've had somebody in my life that I've lost as well, and I don't claim to know what it's like to lose a brother or to lose a sister, but I do know what it's like to lose a family member. And then sometimes I say something like, I know these words might mean something, but I can't really put into true context what I want to say to you because there aren't any words in the English language that can convey the level of concern and feeling I have for making sure you're okay. Number 8, vital for healthy child development. For babies and children, touch isn't optional. It's a developmental fuel. Cuddling, skin-to-skin contact, and nurturing physical interaction foster emotional security, see brain development, and trust in the world. A lack of touch in early life can lead to emotional and cognitive challenges later on. Simply put, love starts in the arms. Number 9, it improves sleep and it lowers blood pressure. Physical affection before bed, like a cuddle or a back rub, triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, preparing your body for restful sleep. Studies also show that regular touch lowers the heart rate and the blood pressure, improving, yes, cardiovascular health. So, yes, affection is heart healthy, literally and figuratively. I think this is why, when people don't want to have emotion or connect, they actually are the people that won't live as long. Number 10, it reinforces romantic and social bonds. Romantic relationships thrive on touch, but so do platonic ones. From holding hands to an intimate gesture, physical connection strengthens emotional commitment and that bond. But it also extends to, like I said, friendships and family and the people that are of a non-sexual context. Small, genuine touches keep us emotionally tethered to our inner circle, reminding us that we matter to someone. Kind of like the way our Wi-Fi keeps checking in when we move around to make sure we stay connected. Number 11, touch increases team cohesion in workplaces. Wow, John, this is a real big one. I know, and this is something that a lot of people are not going to necessarily agree with because they don't like touch in general. So this might be a hard one to swallow. Think of a fist bump or a pat on the back. It's just casual, right? Think again. Physical acknowledgments in the workplace, when appropriate, boost morale, recognition, and hey, the belongingness. You belong here. Teams that connect physically, even with high fives or shared laughs, report greater unity, trust, and of course, productivity. Sometimes culture is built hand in hand, literally. Number 12, it plays a role, a real key role in nonverbal communication. You see, touch adds depth and nuance to our messages. A light tap can mean urgency. A steady grip can convey assurance, especially in multicultural or emotionally complex settings. Touch enhances clarity where words, well, they just can't. It's one of the few forms of communication that transcends language altogether in a way that our mind can't first comprehend. Number 13, it helps regulate the emotions and the anxiety that we may be going through. A reassuring hug or a gentle handhold helps down regulate the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible in the back for fear and anxiety, that fight or flight mechanism, right? Physical touch stabilizes the nervous system and reminds us, hey, we're safe. For people with anxiety or disorders like PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, therapeutic touch can be transformative and actually can, well, give them a whole new lease on life. I think this is why pets cause such a real bond with people. People see most pets as very innocent and they really don't ask for anything. Well, they want food and they want you to walk them and take care of them, but they really don't ask for anything. So maybe that's why people are more, or I should say, less vulnerable to want to help an animal because they know it's probably okay. Number 14, it humanizes the digital first interactions. Whoa, John, that one's like off the planet. Okay, but let's break it down. Zoom, text, streams, emojis, they have limits. They simulate connection, but lack the grounding presence of real touch. In a world that's gone digital, even small acts of physical presence, like meeting face to face or shaking hands, brings humanity back into our connections. Don't, folks, underestimate the power of just being there. Number 15, touch is primal, universal human need. From ancient rituals to modern therapy, touch has always played a foundational role in human life, that is. It's not a luxury or just a romantic gesture. It's a core biological thing that we all need and emotional requirement. You see, we're wired for it. Denying it can lead to, well, isolation. Embracing it leads to healing, bonding, and growth. And I know when I bring up the word touch, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't really want to get into touch. Okay. Maybe that's why you're not feeling so great. So here's the part of the show, guys. I like the whole show. You guys know that. But here's the part of the show that I think really hits home with a lot of people. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically give you a personal lesson or story for each point tonight. And it's my hope that this will somehow connect you and get you to anchor to why you should be doing this, right? I think when we hear touch, sometimes it has a bad connotation because maybe there's been stereotypes. There's a lot of good forms of touch. And when it is a good form of touch, it like gives us a new lease on life. It makes us feel whole. It makes us relax. It makes us feel appreciated. It makes us feel confident. Get my idea? I think we have to balance the bridge between touch that's welcome and touch that's unwelcome. So obviously something like a handshake is very easy. Even with somebody that you don't know, you could probably get a handshake easily. Going for a pat on the back or that might be something that takes some time. Start with a handshake, right? See how that's received. And then move forward. If it's not, you can say, "Oh, I didn't mean. I'm sorry. I didn't mean." It's like, no, that's okay. And the person might tell you, "Hey, it's not you. It's me. I was in a bad relationship, and anybody sometimes becomes around, or I was in a bad situation at school many years ago. So somebody comes close, like I just kind of freak out. Okay, no problem. Touch builds trust instantly. A few years ago, I was preparing to give a keynote at a leadership summit. Right before I walked on stage, a fellow speaker, someone I just met, gave me a firm handshake and patted me on the back with a smile. That simple gesture in that high stress moment, even though I was ready for it, made me feel so grounded, like I belong there. It shifted my nerves into confidence that, hey, John, you can do this. These people love you. Later, we ended up talking more, and that handshake became the first moment of, well, what I guess started to root into a friendship that was mutual respect. I've realized since then that no words could have built that instant sense of camaraderie the way that physical touch did. It wasn't about dominance or formality. It was the language of trust. It releases oxytocin, it's that bonding hormone. When a relative of mine was born, I remember holding him for the first time in the hospital. He was just a few hours old, tiny, warm in my arms, and as I cradled him, a wave of calm and deep love washed over me. Without a single word being said, that physical closeness sparked a bond that still feels unshakable today. Even now, years later, I notice how much easier it is to connect with him after a hug or when we sit close watching cartoons. Touch isn't just about affection, it's a biological bridge that creates closeness. That oxytocin effect is real, and it continues to deepen our connection with every embrace that we make or we receive. Physical contact reduces cortisol and stress. This has been proven. I'm not making this up. I'll never forget the day I was doing this presentation in class. And let's just say it didn't go the way I expected. And I was a little embarrassed, even though this was my very first presentation with like a topic that I didn't even understand. I think it was non-Western culture. And although I love speaking, I did not like this topic. And I was a little embarrassed, a little tense, and replaying every mistake in my head. When I got home, my family members simply said to me and gave me a hug. No advice, no judgment, just presence. And something just sort of shifted between us. That hug helped reset my system. My racing thoughts just slowed to a crawl. My breathing even shallowed out. I didn't just feel supported. I now felt safe. It was a lesson in how touch at the right time and moment can be more effective than any pep talk or any solution. touch deepens emotional intimacy. During a rough patch in my challenge with a relationship of mine, um, my friend and I weren't saying much. Tension hung in there. It was deep in the air. But one night, instead of talking, we just holded hands, and we sat on the couch. And that simple connection said more than hours of conversation could. It softened both of us. Sometimes when words build walls, touch breaks them down. That moment reminded me that being physically present with kindness can reopen the heart when language fails. We didn't solve everything in that moment, but we started to reconnect, and we also didn't solve the world's problems, but we did get more of an appreciation for each other. A wise person once said, the best or smartest type of intelligence is kindness. And that hit home for me. It boosts our mood. It combats loneliness. And after moving to a new location, even though it wasn't far from where I live, it was different. I spent my first few weeks feeling a little isolated because I was the only one in my new place. One evening, a neighbor invited me in to a small gathering. As I walked in, someone greeted me with a friendly hug, unexpected but genuine. That brief moment completely changed how I felt. It was the first time in weeks I felt seen and welcome. The hug didn't just lift my mood, it reminded me I wasn't invisible. A single moment of physical warmth broke that cold spell of loneliness that had been going on since I moved in. Since then, I've never underestimated the emotional lift that comes with touch. Touch enhances empathy and understanding. A friend of mine lost her father suddenly. When I went to see her, I didn't know what to say. As she sat there quietly, I gently held her hand. She squeezed back, and tears started to flow. That moment of connection needed no words. Later, she told me it was that simple gesture that helped her feel understood and not alone. And I said, what did I do? I was saying to myself. Empathy doesn't always look like perfect sentences. It often feels like a hand reaching out in silence. See, that's the language of our heart. It comes from our gut. It communicates comfort when words fall short, or like I said, they fall apart. At a funeral I once attended, a child was crying insolibly. Her mother didn't say anything. She just knelt down and wrapped her arms around her. Slowly, the little girl's sobs turned into quiet sniffles. That embrace did more than any verbal reassurance that she could have ever done. I remember that moment ever since. Sometimes we try too hard to find the right words when what's needed is just to be there, physically, fully, compassionately. In that silence, comfort will speak volumes. Vital for healthy child development. When a relative of mine actually adopted another child, I remember them holding the baby and how the baby changed and really opened up just from that holding a few times a day. Later on, after that child had grown up to be almost like a teenager, she said something very interesting to me. Just first, she said this. She said, my life was amazing, and I feel so loved. And she knew that her parents held her every day. To that child is very warm, trusting, and deeply empathetic. Watching how nurturing physical contact literally shaped her development taught me that love doesn't just show up in words. It's imprinted through hugs, cuddles, and closeness. You see, in our world, it doesn't matter whether it's whether we're talking same gender or not. It doesn't matter anything. But forget that. Forget the attraction. Just the fact that anybody can give that compassion. And it also shared with me why some people in this world are cold, because they were taught to be like a tank, like somebody that doesn't have feelings. Those people don't live long. And those people don't know how to love or be kind to the world. Not because they don't want to, but because they were taught that's not part of their wiring. It improves sleep and lowers blood pressure. There was a season when I was struggling with getting to sleep, some stress, some late night work. But the nights I'd get a back rub or just cuddle before bed were different. My heart rate slowed and I'd fall asleep more easily, feeling safe. I learned the science later, but I felt the truth immediately. Physical affection acts like a sedative for the nervous system. It doesn't just relax you, it tells your body that you can rest. That's powerful medicine. And we always said that actions speak louder than words. Well, these actions don't just speak, they transform you through the energy. Reinforces romantic and social bonds. During a trip with some close friends, we ended every evening with a hug before heading to our rooms when we were in Europe. It started as a fun habit, but quickly became something deeper, a ritual of mutual appreciation. Even the most stoic among us came to expect it. Over time, I noticed how those simple gestures made our group feel more like family. In our fast paced world, intentional touch isn't cheesy. It's how we say you matter without a script. It keeps the bonds alive. Touch increases team cohesion in workplaces. While working as a volunteer on a community project, I noticed that after a high five or quick shoulder squeeze from the team lead, morale just shot up. People smiled more, they stayed longer, and worked harder. That nonverbal communication changed the energy of the room. Since then, I brought that into my own leadership, and it's been priceless. It plays a key role, guys, in nonverbal communication. At an international conference, I met a delegate from Japan who spoke very little English. But despite the language barrier, we shared a moment of laughter and exchanged a warm handshake that turned into a respectful bow. That moment said more than words could ever communicate. In a multicultural emotional setting, it becomes our common language. It's the punctuation in human connection, helping us express gratitude, concern, or celebration where words might falter or sometimes be misunderstood. It helps regulate emotion. A friend of mine who suffered from anxiety once told me the most helpful thing I ever did for them wasn't advice or distraction. It was just holding their hand quietly during their panic attack. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Have a good one, everyone.